What is going on, you guys? Welcome to my channel where we talk all things money, real estate, personal finance, and entrepreneurship. In today's video, we're going to be talking about real estate. If this is your first time on this channel, my name is Anthony. I'm a 24-year-old entrepreneur slash real estate investor. Today, I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide on how to wholesale real estate. So step one of wholesaling real estate is you need to find potential properties to pursue. Typically, you want to build a list of properties that are distressed, whether that be a distressed owner or distressed property. A distressed owner can be someone who's behind on mortgage. Maybe they owe money on taxes or other liens and delinquencies. It can be owners who are undergoing a divorce, probate, which is the death of somebody, or simply because it's too much work to keep up with the property. A distressed property is a property that's been neglected and not kept up with, or essentially has lots of damages and needs significant repairs. There are many ways to find distressed owners and properties, so let's go over those. You can look online on sites like Craigslist or Zillow. This may be a great option because instead of cold calling random people to see if they'd like to sell their property, these people have essentially raised their hands. They obviously have a property that they want or need to sell because they've already posted it online. Another way is to drive for dollars. Driving for dollars is a popular way to look for potential properties to wholesale. The concept is basically you driving around areas and neighborhoods and looking for potential properties that have signs of distress. These signs may include overgrown or unkept landscape, broken or boarded up windows, piled up newspapers, FSBO signs, or any other deferred maintenance. This method of finding properties is popular because of how inexpensive it is. You would just need to take into account filling up your car with gas. If you guys are getting any value and enjoying this video, please do me a favor, go ahead and like this video and subscribe. Each and every one of you do so will help this channel out tremendously and help reach more people like yourself. And if you want to be notified every time that I post a video, hit that notification bell. I'll be posting 2 new videos every week. Thanks guys, let's get back to it. Another way to find potential properties are through real estate softwares like PropStream. PropStream allows you to search for properties by filtering down your searches to only see properties that you want to see. For example, it allows you to search up pre-foreclosures, vacancies, liens, and much more. You can even get more specific with your search. Say that you're only looking for properties in Houston that are vacant and with liens with $10,000 and above. PropStream allows you to apply that and only show properties that fit that criteria. After you've got your properties and saved your list, you want to skip trace those properties to try and get the owner's contact information such as their email and phone number. On PropStream, it only costs 12 cents per skip trace, so it's very affordable. And the good thing about it is, if you have a list of 100 saved properties and you successfully skip trace only 70, they will only charge you for that 70. Step 2, after you've got your list of skip trace numbers, the next step is to contact the owners. The cheapest option is to start cold calling, but if you don't want to call people, sending postcards is an option too. If that's what you decide to do, you wouldn't need to skip trace. But on PropStream, they do offer a postcard service, but that costs 40 cents per card. So again, cold calling would be the cheaper option. So for the sake of this video, we'll stick with cold calling. When coming across people who want to sell, try and get as much information on the property as possible. A question that I like to ask sellers to know more about the property is, so Anthony, what can you tell me about the property? And most people will usually reply with a lot of the information you already need. This way, you let them do most of the talking and you just listen. Get the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, etc. Although you can look this stuff up, you need to verify with the seller what the current information is because they could have added on to that property. For example, the property could have been a 2-bed, 2-bath, but the seller could have added an extra bedroom last month. You also need to figure out the condition of the property. Find out when all the major rehab components have been replaced and its condition. Get information on the roof, AC, electrical, plumbing, and foundation. Getting accurate with the rehab costs will give you a better idea of where your offer should be. From that point on, your job is to negotiate with the seller and try to get them to drop as much of the asking price as possible. The more you get them to drop, the more you can potentially make from the deal. Step 3, you then need to come up with an offer. I personally think it's best to do your research first, then making an offer, even if it means calling them back a little later. You need to look at what the ARV is, which is the after repair value, and know what the comps or comparable sales are selling for in that area. Then figure out what you can offer by using the 70% rule. The 70% rule is a common formula used by many seasoned investors. To calculate using the 70% rule, you take the ARV, multiply by 70%, minus the rehab cost, and that is usually the max offer an investor is willing to make. So in order for you to wholesale and profit from this deal, you need to take the profit you want to make and subtract it from what you got from that formula. That will give you the number that you need to get the property under contract for with the seller. Let's say you have a property that has an ARV of $150,000 and needs a rehab of $20,000. 70% of $150,000 is $105,000 minus the rehab, which is $85,000. So now you know the max an end buyer is willing to pay is $85,000. And let's say you want to make $10,000 from this deal. That means you will need to lock it up under contract for $75,000 in order for you to make that $10,000 profit. Step 4, fast forwarding to both you and the seller coming to an agreement. Next would be to actually put it under contract. A verbal agreement is good, but it's nothing compared to a written contract. The contract should contain names of both parties, the property address, the purchase price, due diligence or inspection period, earnest money deposit amount, date of closing, and much more. An important note about the earnest money deposit: without depositing the earnest money, the contract would not be fully executed. So in other words, if you don't send in the earnest money, there's no fully executed contract. Day 1 of your inspection period begins the day after your contract is fully signed. Your inspection period is completely negotiable between you and the seller. It can be 5 days, 10 days, or even 30 days. It's whatever you guys agree on. Same applies for the earnest money deposit. It can be $1, $10, or $1,000. During this time is the time you need to find an end buyer. Typically another investor who will buy the deal from you at a higher price from what you put it under contract for. This is when you'll market it at a higher price to your buyers list, Facebook groups, Craigslist. For whatever reason, if you cannot find an end buyer, you can cancel the contract if you are within that inspection period and get your earnest money deposit back if the contract does not state non-refundable. Step 5, fast forwarding to where you found an end buyer for the property. You then want to send that buyer an assignment of contract, which is basically giving them the rights to the property for a fee. With this contract, you'll also need to negotiate the inspection period and earnest money amount. The best thing to do is to go for a large non-refundable deposit. You want them to have as much skin in the game as possible, so that way if they try and back out, you'll still make a good fee. After this is all said and done and the buyer goes through, at closing, everybody wins. The seller gets their property sold, you get your assignment fee, and the buyer gets the property. It's a win-win-win situation. If you guys enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. I plan to give as much value as I can and make a bunch of content about money, real estate, personal finance, and entrepreneurship. If you guys have any questions or comments about wholesaling real estate, comment down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Don't forget to also follow me on all the socials. Also, go ahead and click that notification bell if you want to be notified every time that I post. I'll be posting 2 new videos every week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Go get that money, and I'll see you in the next one.